we're almost ready to start the big trek north and head towards the finale of the series. But we still have some loose ends to tie up before we can do that, because there's 2 branches of Line 60 that we haven't visited yet. Well, technically there's 3, but one of them is in France, and we did not go to France. So let's go and tie up those loose ends. First stop, Bétham. And I think we're gonna have to take a fucking rail replacement bus service, because there's builders. Yep, rail replacement bus service it is. Ooh, because of the building works, TGVs are now stopping at Bettembourg. It's not 6 p.m. Good work, Stadler. The first of the loose ends you have to tie up today is Dudelange. There's 4 stations you have to visit there in order: Dudelange Orange, Dudelange Vie, Dudelange Centre, and Dudelange Usine. And they're served by RBs, which means there's only going to be a train every 30 minutes. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but that's nothing compared to the next loose end that we're going to be tying up later today. Now that's a pain in the ass. We're moving.
Catch me, catch me, catch me, catch me. Speed of light, speed of light, speed of light.
All right, let's go. Oh my god. This is Dudelange Orange, a station so small it literally only has 1 platform. Although I think that might just be because the entire line between Bettembourg, Dudelange and Rumelange is single-tracked. We're going to be seeing at least 1 more of these strange single-tracked lines later, maybe even 2. Wow, that's completely fucking illegible. Nice. It's kind of interesting how the railway line through Dudelange is basically surrounded on both sides by a city. Well, is Dudelange a town or a city? I don't exactly know. It's a town. Should I go for a walk? It's kind of interesting how Dudelange has 4 train stations all to itself. As far as I can think of, the only other town/cities with this characteristic are Belval and Luxembourg. Yeah, Belval has Lycée, Redonge, Université, and Belvaux-sur-Loire, sort of, kind of, but not really. And Luxembourg has what? How many does Luxembourg have? Well, there's Central, Pfaffenberg, Oval, Hollerich, Zentham, Betonstrassen, maybe? I'm not quite sure if it counts as part of Luxembourg. What's also more interesting is that all of these places in the south of Luxembourg are more densely interconnected than the north. Like you've seen here that there's 2 whole, well, 1 and bits of railway lines running through the south, and there's also municipal bus service. While in the north there's only 1 big line cutting through basically the entire northern part of the country. And if you want to get between the towns, you either have to drive or take buses, which are really infrequent. Like maybe in some cases it's either every half an hour or every hour. Here there's, between the bigger cities, there's one every 15 minutes. Between smaller ones, it's every half an hour. I think that's just because the south has a much higher population density than the north because of the industrial history, while the north is, it's mostly there for its natural beauty, but it doesn't have that many people living outside of like the bigger cities like Mer, Châteltruc, and Diekirch, and I think Clairvaux counts as big as well. Apart from that, it's mostly smaller villages. Like when we do the big trek north, we're going to go to one village which I think has a population of less than 100, yet it has its own railway station. Stay tuned for that. The poor bastards whose houses are built right next to the railway line, though. I mean, there's only, I think, 4 trains per hour on that line, but still, that must suck. Alright, Dudelange V, not to be confused with Dudelange Centre. Those are 2 completely different stations. This disturbance map, coincidentally enough, also shows us the next path of our routes. This is the first little tiny branch that we're clearing up. Then over here is going to be our second set of loose ends. And this third loose end we're not going to tie it because it's in France and we do not go to France. Ha! 2 clocks out of sync. Isn't that just brilliant? Oh my god. We're getting a Class 2000! Online bloody 60. Now that's a thing I never expected to see. A 2-carriage Class 2000, what the hell? This is the interior of a Class 2000. It's great, but it's only single deck, which is a bit toss, especially at peak hours. The seats are comfy though. That was fast. Alright, let's go. Oh, would the bloody door mind opening? Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of the Class 2000s, in case you hadn't guessed. This map right here is what happens when you try to make an isochrone without knowing how to make an isochrone. Yet. Oh, even though it's not at a station, we still have the requisite gloomy underpass. Okay, no, this is not okay. We have a ramp on one end, and then steps on the other end. What the hell's the point of the ramp? Because the whole reason that you put a ramp there is so the people who can't either easily or at all take the stairs still have a way of getting through the underpass. So what you do when you put a ramp on one end is that you give them hope, have them go in there, and then fuck them on the other end with some steps. Just think how someone in a wheelchair is going to feel after that. Also, it is roughly an hour after solar noon, I think, which means that the sun is still beaming down. So the quality is going to be slightly shit. Oh well. Oh, at this point the line is double tracked. Nice. Although I suppose that it must not be nice to have a TGV charging through the town of Dudelange. Wait, except it doesn't actually charge through there. It takes a different route via...
Warning! Painfully awful French pronunciation incoming.
Étanges-Grand, Metz, Thionville and Nancy. Not in that order. F*** me. So I guess this is just for manuvials. Yeah, there's your manuvials before it heads off to Rumelange in France, where we're not going to go because we do not go to France. Even though It's one of the CFL special status stations, which are in another country, but still operated by CFL, because I don't think Rumelange has any SNCF services, although future marks, can you please double check that?
It doesn't even exist on the SNCF website.
Thank you. So we could go to France, but we did not go to France. Instead, let's head back to Bettembourg and get on to the next loose end that we have to tie up together. Oh, yep, here we go. Repeat after me, kids. Ramp, stairs, ramp, stairs, ramp, 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 stairs, stairs, stairs. Wouldn't be a CFL station without them, except for all the other CFL stations that we've seen that don't have them. And a fucked elevator. And 2 fucked elevators. Lovely. Oh yeah, gloomy. Very. This is what you have to do to take the ramp stairs as a regular human. What the fuck is that shit? Station building. Meh. Shit. Although, pet peeve. Stations without indoor waiting areas, but instead with these metallic things. They must be great in a thunderstorm. Because if lightning strikes out of these things, you're fucked. Alright, that's 16 minutes until the next train. Yeah, because the one we saw triggering the level crossing over there.
Except we didn't, because I edited that out. Ha!
That would have been the one we would have taken, but now there's the 30 minute space. Alright, let's settle in for a lovely, lovely wait. And it's the same Class 2000, I think.
Keep everything that's built
Oh, of course. Makes sense. There can only be 2 trains on the segment of line because it's single tracked, so that means that a train has to reach either Bettembourg or Dudelange before it can go through the remainder of the line through Dudelange itself. Otherwise, you would have both trains entering the line, meeting head-on, and that would be a deadlock that could only be resolved by pulling one of them out to one side. So that's why I've been seeing the same 2 trains throughout this whole mini journey, because there can only be 2 trains on the segment of line. And it makes sense, because that Stadler's now going to go up to France, come back here. At around about the same time, this train will be completing its journey through Bettembourg and coming back here. And then they'll swap. Very clever. Alright, that's that loose end tied up. Next stop, Rumelange. Alright, that's our train. No idea what platform it's going to be on. Probably platform 3 over here that I didn't even know existed before this. Problem number 2 with the Class 2000s, no fucking aircon. Confirmed, we're on another single-tracked Wunderlinie. Anyway, Kyle, with a lovely red-painted old station building. Especially loving the spikes around the windowsill. Aesthetically pleasing. 1860 this segment of line was opened. Huh, sweet. I wonder if that's the coordinates of this exact... Nope, they have the exact same set of coordinates on every single bench. Boo! You see all these new houses being built everywhere around Luxembourg, even in places like Kyle, which to reach you need to take at least 2 different trains. Why? Well, because this is totally obvious if you've been living in Luxembourg for more than a day, but if you're not from here, well, then I mean you to know that Luxembourg is basically in the middle of a soaring housing crisis. And I don't mean that lightly. For the same price that you could buy a full house in somewhere further away from the center, you could get a studio flat in Luxembourg. Yep. You may ask, why do I always choose to walk between stations? And I don't always do, but when I do, it's for a couple reasons. One, because it doesn't make any sense for me to wait half an hour to take the train for a journey that I could make in 15 minutes on foot. 2, because the rules say I can. Remember, there's nothing in the rules saying that I have to take the train between all the stations, on the contrary. And 3, because then you get to see the lovely scenery, which you just don't often get to see from a train window. I may have to use this trick more and more as we go north, because it gets even nicer there. I am looking forward to the big trek north. Next week, that is. Well, at the time that I'm recording this, for you it'll probably also be next week. Or maybe it won't be, if depending on whether I'm a lazy bum when it comes to editing this, which knowing me, I probably will be. I get the feeling that Future Marx is probably screaming at his screen right now if this hasn't been cut already. And if it hasn't, then it will be now. Here's Dudelange station, by the way. One slab of concrete, no gloomy underpass because it's one slab of concrete. Not red, old station building. Ooh. Kyle's is nicer, it was red. Okay, let's head on to Rumelange so we can finally tie up this loose end and then start the big trek north next week. In case you're wondering about the timescale of this project, I am right now recording this video on Thursday, the 22nd of August, but it's probably only going to come out on either Sunday the 25th or Monday the 26th, especially because we have a video today, and if I have played all my cards right, then there's going to be a video tomorrow, so I'm going to delay this one until probably Sunday. So the big trek north, I'm probably going to record either next Monday or Tuesday, and then start releasing in drips from Wednesday or Thursday onwards. In fact, I still need to figure out how I'm going to split up the big trek north, because I'm definitely going to have to split it up into at least 3 parts. Because the way that I'm going to do the big trek north is that first I'm going to head from Luxembourg directly up to Diekirch. That means probably switching via Ettelbruck. Then in a separate go, I'm going to go up from Ettelbruck all the way up to Travierge. And then this is the part that I don't know about, because there's still one more loose end that we're going to need to tie up on that line, and it has some of the most interesting planning quirks of any station on network. And I say that as I'm walking past Dudelange. But I don't know if I'm going to do that in the same part, or I'm going to switch that into a different video, because I mean, it's going to be the grand finale of the series, and I want to do something special for it. We'll see. I don't even know if this segment that I'm recording now is going to make it into the actual video, because Future Marks might decide that this is really, really badly spoken and really, really boring and cut it. Oh well, I do whatever the hell I like. Oh, the line split into 2 tracks here. Probably repeating the story at Dudelange about how trains need to bypass each other while on the track. Speaking of that, I just looked at the map and I'm on the wrong fucking side of the tracks. Go me. But like, how the fuck? No, this is fine, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This isn't the same as it was at Dudelange. What the fuck? Why is the line completely split? Let's take a look at a map. Ooh, I think this is a cargo line, because, yeah, it goes and terminates over there, Future Marks.
Yes.
Can you please pull up a map?
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the cargo line, and then down there is the passenger station that just happen to share the segment of track from Luxembourg onwards. Huh. Luxembourg, Dudelange. Not the same thing, really. And here we go. Yep. Although it does seem to double track here as well. Huh. Future Marks, when you're back, can you please pull up some orthophotos and take a look at what the hell the tracks around these parts actually do?
After leaving a station, the tracks merge, then go parallel with a cargo branch, which is why look double-tracked. Then some maneuvers happen, and finally on the way to Luxembourg, they go single-tracked again.
Oh, and it's a 2002, the same train that took us to Kyle. Nice. Alright. So that's our loose end tying up complete. When I see you next, it's going to be on the big trek north. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.